This weekend, Mars in Libra is sextile to Mercury in Leo. I didn't talk about this in my August reports, but I think it's a really interesting transit. So that will be the main focus of this weekend's report, but I do have a few other things I'd like to talk to you about as well. I'm going to go ahead and put this on the chart. We're talking about Mercury in Leo and Mars in Libra. And this transit is a great example of the fact that we don't want to look at these transits in isolation. We want to think about them not just in the context of what's going on around them in the chart, but also in the context of where the planets have been, what's been going on lately with these planets and also with these houses in the sky. So, in the chart. So, it is important to consider a few different things when we're talking about this sextile. Mars in Libra is so diplomatic, is really about a few different things. First of all, considering the opinion of others in terms of what it's going after. And really, instead of talking about this as it and Mars, I should say a part of us, because that's kind of what astrology is about. It's signifying something that's going on within us, for a part of us. So I always think with astrology that all the planets just want to be heard. And that can be easier sometimes than others. Sometimes the planets work really nicely together and they complement each other, and it makes it really easy for those different sides of ourselves, sides of what's happening in the world. If we're talking about mundane astrology like we are today, if we're talking about the current transits of the time, there are these different elements of what's happening. And sometimes it's easy for those planets to be heard at the same time, for those parts of ourselves to express simultaneously. And other times it's a little bit more difficult. So there's a part of us with Mars and Libra that has been feeling very, very diplomatic lately and will be feeling very diplomatic this weekend. It's a time when a part of us really wants to consider others when we're thinking about what we want to do next, where we're headed, where we're going, what we're driven towards, what's motivating us, really stopping and considering the impact of these things on other people. And also, Mars in Libra, there's a part of us this weekend that is prioritizing peace, harmony, getting along well, sort of above all else. Sometimes a shadow side of Mars and Libra can be sort of more like the negative side of fighting for peace. I've been explaining it as, and I wish I had a better metaphor. I'm actually not crazy about this one. I've been explaining it as the person in the room who's yelling at everybody to stop yelling. Um, but it is kind of that fighting for peace energy. And there are very, very healthy ways to do that, right? Like, really, it's just about prioritizing peace and harmony, understanding that that's a very important part of the way that we push forward. Mars is about our motivation, our drive, our energy, our direction. And with Libra there, it's like, okay, remember that this isn't about going fast. This isn't about rushing. This isn't about getting a million different things done. This isn't about just going after what you want. Stop, slow down, make sure that this is working for everybody. Think about and consider how this affects others, and move forward in peace. Move forward calmly in order to make progress. You're not going to go faster if you rush. Go slow to go fast, as they say. And it really is about prioritizing that harmony as well, understanding that you need time to rest and replenish and regroup before you can push ahead forward again. That having that calm and ease within really allows you to make good decisions and move forward when the time is right for that. Okay, so that's what I'm thinking about with Mars and Libra. And it's also interesting that Mars and Libra has just come off of igniting this kite pattern that we talked about in earlier reports. Basically, there's so much happening in the chart, and I'm always uh, hesitant to add too much. So I actually don't want to do that right now. But Mars just now is finally coming out of this kite pattern where he was interacting very, very closely with Saturn and Neptune in Aries, Pluto and Uranus in Gemini and Aquarius in the other air signs. So we had an air grand trine, we had a kite pattern. So that Mars has been busy. This part of us this weekend that is prioritizing that peace, that harmony, that self-care, that moving forward and considering others, that part of us has just been doing a lot, has just been, really sort of working through some new era type stuff. There's really sort of a new era getting off the ground right now with this outer planet triangle. And when Mars activated that triangle, a part of us like sort of got a little glimpse of where we're going. We're still getting that glimpse now, but it might have been felt very clear um, over the week and this prior weekend. And now Mars is going, whew, okay, got it. I can see that. I can see that whole vision. I can see that whole dream. I sort of got a taste for what that feels like. So now let me do this. Let me do my Mars and Libra thing. Let me think about others. Let me prioritize peace and harmony, in short. So there's a part of us that's doing that. So now let's talk about Mercury and Leo sort of in isolation by itself. And this is another part of us. And this part of us does work well with the Mars and Libra part. So that's nice. And that's that sextile. It's something that we have to dig into. You know, the sextile represents the relationship between those two planets, and that signifies something that's going on in the energy and in the collective energy for all of us. So this Mercury and Leo side of us, Mercury and Leo has been clearing up a lot. I feel that this Mercury retrograde that just ended, actually, it was difficult, but not in any kind of major way. There may have been some redoing, some busyness, having to have the same conversation twice, tying up some loose ends that had been running for a while especially in whatever life area is Leo ruled. We had a Mars retrograde run through Leo and Cancer earlier in the year. And I feel like this Mercury moving through here sort of has been healing a lot of that, clearing a lot of it up. It was a good time to redo, rethink, reconsider, rework, recommunicate about Leo things. We kind of needed it because of some of the things that Mars moving through that sign and house retrograde had stirred up. So, however, it's difficult when you have to redo things, when you have to do things again, when you have to go over the same ground. It can feel like it takes extra time to make progress or to communicate your message. You might find yourself saying or thinking, I just said this. I just went over this. I just did this. Why am I doing this again? You may have to, have the same conversation, but with a different person or with the same person. So it's nice when that energy begins to let up. And now Mercury and Leo can do its Mercury and Leo thing, which is actually so beautiful in terms of the authenticity of the self-expression, the confidence, the boldness of Mercury and Leo. There's a dramatic flair to it as well. Like, it's not really dramatic, it's charming, it's flirty, it's playful. Um, so, Mercury and Leo, this weekend, there's a part of ourselves that wants to express really, really authentically, but also in a sort of charming, playful, um, fun way. And this part of ourself, our communication side, has just been through a lot. It's been doing a lot of heavy lifting. It's been going over the same ground. And so it's almost what I love about Mercury and Leo so much is the way in which it relaxes into being itself. There's a part of us that can relax into authentically speaking from the heart. It might feel like it's hard to speak from the heart. But it's like when you have enough confidence, and Mercury and Leo has confidence, when you have enough confidence and you sort of feel light enough and playful enough and good enough about yourself, it is a little easier. And Leo is so helpful when that side of us is sort of activated by planets moving through there. Well, it's signifying it. Um, it's not that these planets are causing this to happen within us, in my opinion. It's that um, it signifies something for us. We're not as separate from the astrology. We're all not as separate as we think we are, as it seems like we are. Everything is sort of more connected than is immediately obvious. So I feel like astrology, what's happening in the astrology is also happening for us. It's not, it reflects it, it signifies it. It's not that it's causing it, right? It's not that there's like some sort of magnetic pull or something that's causing something to happen, or that these planets are energies that are doing something to us. No, it's that, um, we're all the leaves on one tree. And when something's going on with the tree, we can look at what's happening with the tree, and it turns out it has an effect on us. We can sort of have this illusion that we're all so separate, but really we're all so connected in so many ways. And so, anyway, the part of us that is Mercury and Leo is signifying is activated here is confident and comfortable and ready to self-express. And I really like that energy. It's good for all of us to have a taste of that and dose of that, even if we don't have it in our charts, to be working with that this weekend. Okay, so these planets are coming together in a sextile that's actually going to hold for quite a while. It's active next week too. Um, because Mercury is moving pretty slowly, normally Mercury moves a bit faster and this would break up more quickly. But because Mercury is coming off of that retrograde, it's moving a bit more slowly. So we're holding this lovely little sextile for a while. That is meaning that this weekend is a time where we're sort of moving boldly and also talking smoothly. So I have just a few points to sort of explain what I mean by that. The conversations that we're having, sort of putting these two energies together, we might find ourselves having conversations that are very honest, that feel bold, but also where there's that charming nature to it. It's like we can say what's honestly on our mind, but in a way that is engaging and that allows our message to be sort of appreciated and enjoyed. This is great energy to bring to conversations and to communications. That ability to really express honestly, but in a way that makes it easy to be heard. Um, I think that creative ideas could come up and then move right into the action phase pretty quickly. We could move right from creativity and having the idea to actually putting it into motion. And this is a great thing to try to do in general, not to go, "Ooh, I have this great idea. Okay, let me schedule that for 3.5 days from now or 2 weeks from now." No, is there a way we can sort of move on those instincts right away? This weekend, we might be able to do that. You might think, "Ooh, I'd really like to do this." And then you just go do it. This is great energy for collaborating. There is a lightness to it, but there's a depth to it as well. So that's just great collaboration energy because it's sort of easy and playful. But yeah, again, honest and deep at the same time. It's interesting because there's a confidence to this weekend, but it's also so sort of tactful and gracious and polished. So that's sort of the big ideas that I was thinking about for this transit. We do have other things going on that I just want to mention really quickly. Not too quickly because they are interesting, but I just want to show two different things in this chart. First, we have a Venus North Node trine. I spoke about this in my August horoscopes. You might want to check that out. If you've enjoyed this report, you would probably enjoy that. Best viewed by rising sign. But basically, this gives the energy sort of a faded feeling. It feels, you could have like moments of sort of like deja vu with this, or like a feeling of destiny. Everything could just feel right. It could feel like the timing is really right this weekend for these kinds of conversations, these kinds of actions or communications. I also just want to show really quickly. You can see more about that and where it falls in your chart in my August horoscopes. But I just want to look really quickly at this beautiful formation that, look at the geometry of this right now. This is actually a chart for Saturday evening. And it's when the moon comes into a triangle, a grand sextile with Mercury and Mars. So we have that Mercury Mars sextile that we just spoke about. And then when the moon is here, it forms a sextile with Mercury, and then Mars and the moon are in a trine. So this is just a nice harmonious energy. Saturday evening, Eastern Standard Time is really lovely. It sort of brings emotion and feeling into what I was just speaking about. Like a lot of heart would be present at that time. And then we have this outer planet triangle that's been with us all summer because it involves slow moving outer planets, Pluto, Neptune, and Uranus. And I just love the way that it sort of highlights this this grand trine that we sort of just came out of when Mars was a little bit earlier. But it's just pretty geometry, isn't it? And the Mars is still sort of in a loose opposition here. Pluto's in a loose opposition to Mercury. So Saturday night is nice. And I like this signature a lot. I like this Mercury Mars sextile quite a lot. I didn't include it in my August horoscopes, but I definitely wanted to talk about it here because it's a nice vibe. Okay, I'm just checking my comments real quick. Good morning. It's so nice to see you. I really appreciate everyone being here, everyone watching. Please let me know in the comments how you're doing, what you're doing this weekend, how you're using the energy. I hope that you enjoy it. I can't really believe that it's mid-August already. Time goes very quickly. I'm working on September horoscopes. Those are going up slowly. And thank you as always for your patience and for being here. Have a great weekend.